All right, hey everybody, welcome to this week's client support webinar. Today is June 5th, 2024. Welcome. All right, good turnout today. How is everybody doing? All right, any questions that you have, feel free to ask away. Don't forget, we have stock analysis Friday tomorrow. All right, so that's where you can come and I'll look up stocks or ETFs for you guys. We'll review Bitcoin as well, which is doing pretty well right now. Okay, it's up around, I think at last I looked, around 71,500-ish, right around in there. So that's on track for the next leg up. It certainly appears so. All right, also too, we're putting together a time frame for our fall tutorial. And I gotta tell you, I think we're gonna focus on a couple things that we haven't focused on before. I think actually, you know, it's a 2-day event and I'm still working it out, but I think the second day, we're going to structure that as a day trading day in person. I think that will be kind of what we do using the concepts that we talk about on the first day. We're going to cover all the major concepts on risk control and so forth. Even if you're not a day trader, it's still good to see all these concepts working, all right, while you're there on short time frames, so then you can apply it to longer time frames later for your particular type of trading. So keep that in mind. All right, so let me go through my things here. I think what I'll do, I think I'm getting quite a few people that were interested in the Apex Copier. So I think I'll review that today and go over that a little bit. And for those of you that are day trading and so forth, I think you might find that beneficial. All right, so let me get going here. I trust the audio and is working and you can, I'm going to show my screen here in just a moment. All right, let's see, let's get that squared away first. Hold on a second. Okay, you should see my screen now, so you should be good there. And now we can go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing I want to cover, of course, are the risks involved in trading. You know, this is something I cover all the time. And with the risk in trading, it's really important because the idea behind that, of course, is for you to understand that there is risk in trading the financial markets. I mean, all you guys and gals that are here today kind of know that. But it doesn't help to be reminded because you got to use risk control in every trade. And I don't care if you're day trading or position trading, it doesn't matter. You still have to use it. And also too, if we cover anything here that you're thinking about acting on, just run it by your financial advisor to be sure it's suitable for you. And always trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. And if you can't, all right, there's other alternatives. For example, if you like to day trade, all right, you can use a firm called Apex. So that is a possibility for you. And that's something that I think is great for all day traders because you're not risking any money. You pay a low monthly fee. Let me see if, hold on one second. Let me find a link because I think you probably will ask me for this, but let me find a link first. Okay, there it is. Okay, give me a second. All right, I just put that up in the chat area if you're interested in going that route where you get a funded prop account. You do have to qualify. It's not so easy, okay? You have to really work at it, but it's really fun. And while you're working at it, you're not risking any of your own money. So that's kind of a good thing. All right, what else can I say about risk? We deal in a realm of probabilities. You need to calculate your trade size no matter how you trade. And I got a couple books that cover that. I got software that covers that as well. My new book, The Art of Trading, is finished, completed. All right, that was a long endeavor. A little over, it depends how they set the typeface on it, but it was about 500 pages I submitted to Wiley. All right, so they're laying it out and then they'll send me a proof back so I can get a final page count. But certainly quite a number of good chapters in that book. I think it's gonna be the best book I ever wrote because it's pretty comprehensive. I kind of covered all the stuff you need to have, including some of the new software that we have since the old book was out. All right, so that's that. And of course, the ART trading system along with the scanners and the software for risk control is all available. It's on our website. I'll put some links below on this when we post it to the unlisted area in YouTube. So, does everybody know how to access the recordings here? Because that's kind of important, right? Okay, good. Because you have to log into the client support area to do that, right? So make sure, all right, you do that and access them that way. If you go to the YouTube page, you won't be able to find them. They're unlisted. So you have to have that link we have there. And then what I try to do, you'll see many, many videos because I've done this now for years, right? So there'll be many, many videos in there. And just scroll down to a topic. I try to put the major topic of the day in there. Like today, I'll probably put Apex Copier, okay? And then you can scroll down and find that if you want to review it, a couple months from now, that type of thing. So they're all in there, and they are private. So basically, I think that's kind of a smart way we keep that going. All right, let me come out of here. All right, let me just go over Bitcoin real quick here. I'm really happy to see this now surging forward. All right, we picked up a couple more coins, last month during the sell-off, which was really good. But now I think the bottom may be in. I was thinking it's not, but it certainly seems to be getting close to our target area for pretty much confirming it's over. And that is going to be the high of 72,777. We're at 71,642 with a big surge over the last couple days. Target on this is 87,000 roughly to 106. I will be exiting most of the coin then. I may put a few little coins under my pillow, but for the most part, I will be exiting then, but only to be looking to get in maybe a year or two later, okay, after a bigger correction. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe it's 6 months, who knows, but it will have to come down to a fairly significant level on the weekly charts for me to buy in again. But in any case, so far doing what I'd like it to do, which is a good thing. All right, I'm going to go over now to some of the accounts here. And let's take a look here at what we got cooking here. All right, so there we have a situation where we had the markets go up. Okay, and there you have it. All right, so that's the MES. So what I want to do here is I want to go here. Ooh, I got to connect here to my Apex, I guess, first. So let me come out of, well, I'll keep that. Let me just go Apex there. All right, so let the Apex accounts populate. There they all are up here. Okay, so I have 20 Apex accounts. I've got a couple 50,000s. I got 425,000s that I'm practicing a scalping technique on, and I got $250,000 accounts as well. So you're allowed to have up to 20. So I have all 20, and the reason I got 20 is because of the special. All right, the first month is only around $18 and some change. So let's say $19 for the first month. And then each additional month after that is just $38. So the way they work it is that if you, when you buy an account, at the time you buy the account, or the subscription they call it, it's going to cost around 19 bucks, okay? That will hit your credit card right away. And then in about 15 minutes or so, they have the account set up for you. Now, basically, these are all simulated accounts. That's all they are, all right, in the beginning. But the idea is what you're trying to do with this is actually get yourself funded. And once you get funded, then it's still kind of a simulated account, but it's called a funded account. And from there, any profits that you make within their guidelines or rules, all right, you can withdraw. So it's kind of a cool way of doing it because you're really not risking your money. Now, what's the downside? Downside is they have very strict rules. They have trailing max drawdown, which puts a whole new dimension into trading, depending on your style of trading. All right. They like scalpers that tend to take profits quickly in the market. Those of you that are taking profits less quickly, like using the ART system, I would recommend you got to really control your trade size, and I would recommend putting your risk around 0.2 to 0.3. Normally we trade with a 2% risk, but you can't do that when you have a trailing drawdown. For example, on a $250,000 account here, you only get 6,500. Okay, so that's it. Now notice this account, the O2 account. All right, I'm down what, $1,400 there, which is no big deal, but notice how that affected my trailing stops down like 4,000. And the reason for that is because on this style of trading, where we kind of almost like are trading the intraday trends, but we're not scalping. It's more like position trading on a lower time frame. The problem with that is the market can go up, all right, and then pull back. And if you get stopped out after it went up, well, they count that as the high mark for your trailing stop, so they deduct that loss from the trailing max drawdown. All right, so you have to go in with a small trade size, all right, so you don't get stopped out. So that's kind of the deal with that, and that's going to take you a longer time to qualify. Now, on the smaller accounts, I'm playing around with scalping, which is kind of fun, and the scalping might be, we'll see how that works, because I'm coming up with some rules for that, and those rules are probably what I'm going to share once I get them ironed out at the tutorial in the fall. But the idea behind that will be to put together a scalping technique using the ART software, and it's kind of interesting. So length of the owl, I'm learning, plays a big difference. A lot of these scalping techniques aren't so good at the top or bottom of a significant move. So we'll see how that all works out. You don't want to get caught in a sideways channel trying to scalp, or you'll, basically get nothing but whipsaw. So in any case, a lot of fun testing you can do, but you know what? No matter if it blow out account, they reset it the next month and you don't lose any of your real money. So not so bad, right? All right, now the copier. All right, let me see if I got the copier open. I hope I don't, so I can open it for you. Good. All right, so the copier is, let me just see how I want to do this. If you go into, there's many different copiers available, all right? So you need to do a little research on your own to find out what copier you want to buy. Now, the copier I decided to purchase was actually one recommended by Apex Funding for my account type, which is called a Tradevate account. And basically, that account ties in nicely. You can see I logged in, so it gives me all the information there. And then I bought the copier. It was on sale for $150 for a lifetime license. So normally it's about twice that price, I think. So they have a sale on that. I do not have a coupon for that though, just so you know. So in any case, what you do is once you install it, all right, you go to new and then bring up the Apex copier, all right? Okay, so now what I do is bring this over here. Whoops, wrong one. Bring this over here, okay? And you can see it automatically populated all my accounts, which is kind of cool, all right? So what you're looking at here, maybe I'll just open this up full screen. So what you're looking at here is all my accounts that I can copy trades to. Now what you have to do is you have to pick out a leader account, which is like the account you are going to place your order in, and then have that order copied to all the sub accounts, okay? All right, let me just see here. It's telling me I have one more of these bad boys open. No, okay. All right, so keep that in mind, all right? So then the idea is you pick your leader account, all right? Let's just say I pick, the first one, 2, okay? And then I have all these other accounts here that I can copy by just clicking on. So it's kind of simple that way, which is kind of cool, right? So if I pick, I could pick a 15 account, right? and then I could copy that over to some of the other accounts. So for example, let's just see what my let's do a 25,000. So my 15 account, let's just say I want to copy, let's just say I'm testing a system and I want to copy it to just one more. Well, I can just locate the one more here, hit copy, and then that every trade I place on this account, which is a 15 account, will get copied over to the other account, okay? Now, the other thing you'd want to do, okay, since this is both accounts are the same size, both accounts I want them to be exactly duplicate in the position size or trade size. All right, so I would keep the ratio 1-to-1, okay, for example. All right, if I was trading a $250,000 account and I was only risking, let's say, 0.2 or 0.3, but I had another account that I wanted to take the 2% on, well, then I'd change the ratio to a 4. So let's say I wanted to put that into a sim account instead of 16. So I would put this at a 4, okay? In fact, let's just say I choose the 12 account, because a 12 account's a $250,000 account. And I want this to be 4 times as great. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means when I do my risk control and I actually, figure out my risk control on a $250,000 account with a 0.2, that's not 2%, that's 0.2, all right? Then on that, and let's just say, on this market here, MES, what do we got? 5 for the trade size, the margin's about 350. Then I can enter my entry price, exit price, and it will give me the shares, right? So if this was a trade like that, I would probably get, a small number of shares. But if I'm risking 2% on my simulated account, all right, because that account has no restrictions I'm worrying about, then I can make that 4 times, and that would get it up close to 2%. So it gives you that kind of cool way in which you can copy it to another account, but also adjust the shares that get copied, all right? So that kind of thing. Jim, I'll get to your question in just a moment, all right? So that's kind of a cool thing, right? So that's for, that's what I would use if I was doing intraday, what I call position trading almost. So I'm trading the ART system intraday on a small time frame. If I'm scalping, however, okay, I'm probably not going, and I'm going to use the same account size. So let's say I use the 15 and I want to put that into my 16 account, all right? I'm not going to change the ratio because I want it to be exactly the same, right? So I'll just keep it a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, once I have the account set up, this is something that's very easy to forget. You got to go in and select the instrument, because if you're trading multiple instruments, let's say you're trading the MES or the NQ or the, or the MNQ, I should say, or one of the other markets, right, that you can trade. And, here's some of the major ones we trade up here on the market analyzer. So we got the micro E-mini Dow, we got the micro E-mini NASDAQ, micro Russell, micro S&P, micro crude oil. We do trade the Henry Hub full contract. And then we have the micro gold. So we try to stick with markets that have decent liquidity. And so those are the ones we focus on. So if you make a trade on the MES, but then switch to the MNQ, you have to select the instrument. You see that up here? All right, you have to select the correct instrument. It's very easy in the heat of the moment, all right, to forget to do that. And then you enter it, you think it copied over, but it didn't. So keep that in mind, okay? So you got to always keep a hand. It works really good, all right? Now, the other neat thing about this, all right, is go to the bottom where it see the tabs. See the tabs here? All right, check this out. If you want to add a tab, let me just open this up. Maybe you can see it better. No, you can't. Okay, let's go back to here. So if you add a tab, it's going to bring up all the same accounts. You can actually have a different lead account. So you could have one set up for position trading, okay, and select all the accounts you want it to duplicate to. I'm not looking, I'm just arbitrarily doing that. And then select the instrument as well, so you could very quickly toggle back and forth between tabs to basically, and set them up, preset them up, so you're all set. And if anything, you only have to change the instrument, okay, which is kind of nice. So if you have one tab set up for scalping and the other tab set up for your art trades intraday, then what you would do is just make sure, the only thing you got to make sure then is you have the right instrument selected. You don't have to reset up the whole thing. So that is really, really helpful when you're, you know, in the heat of the moment, you got a lot going on. You can have all this stuff preset. All right, any questions on that? Once again, Jim, I see your question, so I will get to you in just a minute. Biddy, how are you? Good to have you here. All right, Biddy, do you have the copier? I don't know if you have it. Jim, I'm not sure you have it either, but anyway, you know, for 150 bucks, worth it, okay? So one of the strengths of the Apex or trading any of these prop accounts, I'm gonna just X out of that. But one of the strengths of trading the Apex accounts is, of course, the ability to have a lot of accounts. All right, so let's just go back. Give me 1 second here. Let's go back and do this. And you can see all the accounts, right? So one of the concepts is, if you are successful, if you've ironed out your system and you have a successful system, and most successful systems aren't about winning super big. They're kind of like hitting singles and doubles. But think about it. If you make $300 a day off a $25,000 account, that's pretty good, right? But what if you multiplied that by 20 accounts? All right, so let's do the math here. 300 times 20, you just made 6,000 bucks. Now with the copier, this is what it allows you to do. It allows you to multiply that over a bunch of accounts. So if you are successful, and I wouldn't do this right now, I would focus on trying to work out a routine that you're successful with. And it's hard, okay? This is not easy, okay, to be successful at this. But you don't have to hit home runs. You have to hit singles, but you got to figure out the edge. Now, what I've had to do is take my rules and kind of redo them a little bit to fit within the Apex matrix. Because if I'm taking 2% losses and I have, you know, on a $250,000 account and I have 3 or 4 stop outs, all right, I'm going to wipe the account out. So I have to lower the trade size, position size. So when I have 3 stop outs or so, all right, I don't get taken out by the trailing max drawdown, right? So you have to tailor it a little bit to meet the needs of the new rules you have to deal with. And instead of complaining about the rules, learn how to beat the rules, okay? And people are doing this right now. They're taking out a lot of money, but they're doing it through multiple accounts, all right? And having an edge in the market, and then the discipline to trade that edge. It's not, I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy, all right? So you gotta really work it, but if you have multiple accounts and you're only taking out a couple $100 a day, all right, that ain't so bad. What if you had $200 account times 20? That's 4,000 bucks for that day, all right? And people are pulling out, and you're not gonna make a win every day, okay? We all know that. But let's say at the end of the month through multiple accounts, you're up 10,000 bucks. Okay, you get to take that out. 90% of that you could take out, and up to the first, I think 25K, you can take it all out. Now there are requirements. You have to trade a certain number of days. Each, you know, I think it's 10 days between payouts. But if you're an active trader, that's not a big rule, okay? So it's, you know, there is potential here to do it. It looks easy, It ain't easy because it's back to trading. If you can't make money on one account, you're not going to make money on 20, right? It's kind of like, it reminds me of what I used to say with monitors. If you can't make money on one monitor, then why do you need 20 monitors in your office, right? Same type of thing. So, you know, you got to think about that, all right? All right, so there it is, all right? And you know, like Frank said, a lot comes into risk to reward, a lot comes into all sorts of things. Some of these scalping techniques, it's hard to know the risk to reward when you go in because you're only going to be in it for a few price bars, okay? So you go with setups that hopefully you're going to have to see what the data shows after you make 30 or 40 trades to see what your risk reward actually is. All right, so you need to make adjustments. So it's not a slam dunk in terms of profitability. You've got to know what you're doing, but it is doable if you stick with it, I think, okay? So you just got to crack the code, so to speak. And then once you crack it on one account, you multiply it on 20, and that's some serious income you can make. Kind of cool, right? Videos for guidance. They have a ton of videos on the Apex website, Frank. They also have videos, I think, on all the intricacies of using the copier. But what I just showed you here is pretty direct, okay? All right, Jim was asking me earlier, and Jim, I'm sorry I didn't get to it yet. He was asking me earlier, let me just see if I can show him this. Give me a second while one of the things that drives me crazy about Ninja Traders, every time you move the count columns, they don't move like they should. So I don't know why they do that, but it drives me crazy. All right, so Jim is talking about this trailing max drawdown, okay? He wants to know how to add these columns. Very simple, just right click, all right, go to properties, okay? And here's all the check boxes of how you add that column, okay? And I think with Apex, they may give it to you. Here it is, right here, trailing max drawdown. So let me just highlight that so you can see it. Okay. Cool. Hopefully you can see that. I know things are smaller on the web, but okay. Cool. All right, so that's how you do it. And also too, you can create other columns you want there too. All right, so that is that. Now, one of the things I do is what I have found very helpful, when you have a lot of accounts like this, it gets confusing as hell looking at all of them, right? So what I do is I just put the positions up. Once I decide what this here is already telling me what markets I'm trading for this, you know, whatever I'm trading here right now. So I'm going to put load the chart trader, okay? And now I've got to select the lead account, the leader account. That's 15, right? So there's my leader account. Now, when I scalp on the same market, like the MES, I don't have to do risk control on every single trade. You know why? Once you do it once or twice with the type of trading you may do, you may automatically be able to look at where your entry is and where your stop is based on the same time frame you normally trade. And from there, you'll know whether it should be like 3 contracts or 4 contracts. So my setup is either a 4 or a 3 contract, depending on how far away the exit would be based on my entry, okay? That's just the way I would do it. All right, so here we had an inside price bar, okay? We're at the top of a thing. Could it go up again? Yeah, it certainly could, but you're certainly at the top of the trend here, okay? So now we've got almost like, here's a play of almost 3 inside, but here's that's not inside, that's not inside. So maybe one's setting up now. But you know, if you're gonna go long and you're already at the end of a trend, even on a 1 minute, that's a more risky trade, okay? So that just got hit. That's a more risky trade than taking it when it first starts out. So you got to determine on your setups that you want to take, whether you're going to, you know, how you're going to, let's say, isolate the best trades from just any generic trade. And that's the trick, okay? Because you may not get follow through that you would get or expect to get, okay? And then you got to decide when to take profits because you're only going to be in this trade for a few price bars if it's a scalp type of thing, right? So you got to think about that. The other thing too is what I do is I put it on positions once I know. So that way when I enter a trade, okay, I only want to see the positions open. I don't want to see all the accounts. I find it really confusing to look. All right, just show me the positions, keep it simple, and do it that way. Now here's an inside price bar, okay, and there it goes on up, all right, from there. So now me personally, I would be taking profits and trailing these stops up, all right, and I'm still working on basically how to do that efficiently with some type of concrete structure. You got to do it with structure. Some people just simply wait till the third price bar and get out. So there's many different ways you can do it. I don't do it that way right now. I may change my mind once my testing's over, but we'll see, okay? Which, as you can see, this was an inside price bar, okay? It popped out, and what I sometimes do is take profits quickly enough so that if it gets stopped out, I break even and then trail the rest up on that. So we'll see. But anyway, there's many different ways to skin the cat. But the point is with the copier, once I took a trade on this, it would copy it to any account that I actually had up. All right, let me see about any questions here. Okay. All right, Jim, I think okay, Jim's got it figured out. He's good there. Let's see. All right, can we have more training classes because we are hooked? Well, yeah, I think that's kind of going to be a fun thing to do, Biddy. I agree. And I'm probably going to do some here, but you know, not everybody is a day trader or a scalper, so they might not be really into this. So I got to figure out how to do that. I will tell you the tutorial I'm going to do in the fall is going to center around this. All right, let's see, because I'm going to basically be able to show intraday and scalping, intraday trends rather, and intraday scalping. All right, so let's see. All right, Sue. All right, we get that. Explain how to get from a mini to a micro. Basically, a micro is a tenth of a regular mini. That's how you do it, okay? Very simple. So, you know, if the ES is a $50 point and the micro is a 5, all right, you just put in the symbol for micros, it starts with an M usually. So it's MES, like I have here, and that's the micro contract. And what that means is that when you do your trade size, you got to put the right point value in. So it would have to be 5 here and roughly 350 here, okay? Don't forget, this is a futures contract, okay? And don't forget, Apex is futures only, no stocks, okay? All right, yeah, so even though we were close to the end of a trend, this still could have been a profitable scalp because you got in here and you trail your stops up here, all right? Don't forget your trade size is going to be pretty high because of the fact that your stop's so close on a scalp. But you're going to also find that you got to be very careful when you're in a bracketed market. So you have to really distinguish a bracketed market from something that's either beginning a trend or in a trend, because you don't want to get caught in that bracketed sideways market and doing a scalp technique where you could get whipsawed. All right, Sue. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so how do you know you're at the end of a trade or a trend, I guess? Well, let's just pop this up here. All right, for sure, we've got a trend in place, right? So Cliff, look at this. Look how high the owl is here, and look how not high it is here. So that's bearish divergence. Now, bearish divergence doesn't necessarily mean the trend's going to end, but it is a sign that the trend is not powerful here, as it was back in here. Okay, so that's a warning sign. So maybe if you're a scalper, okay, and you see a little bit of red here, okay, that could be some form of a pullback, like a small 4 or something. And if you want to go into it for one more last move up when this is green, you could do that to capture the end of that trend. Okay, and then of course we have other time frames if you want to look at that too. But that's all part of how, you know, people trade a little bit different methods, and even using the same software. Okay, also too, another way of knowing, look at all the green pyramids here before we went into kind of a sideways motion, but now they're green again. All right, with a stop under here for possibly a change in trend. So, you know, the trend is definitely up right now, but it is mature. But if you're only scalping 3 or 4 price bars, all right, you don't need, you know, one more push up even on a late trend can make you money. All right, but you have to distinguish what works best for you in terms of how you trade and how you want to trade. Like in this area here, we went sideways. There's a lot of inside price bars here. So you might want to wait for a pyramid and then go ahead and take the inside price bars. So if you're thinking about, you know, going here to the upside, the trend is up, all right? Even though we had a little pullback, the trend is now back up. So, you know, if you see it crossing over from a red to a green and you have a pyramid, all right, and the pyramid's small like it is here, you could even take the pyramid. It's almost the same as risk as a scalp trade, or wait for some other type of like inside bar or something like that to go on. Some people put moving averages up, okay, to keep them, take only long trades when you're above a moving average. So there's many different ways you can do it. What you have to do is figure out what works best for your psychology and your comfort level. Some people don't like to trade inside bars because they'll trade so many of them. So then the idea is, if you want to trade something that's more of a scalping technique like an inside price bar, maybe you need to set up some additional rules to A, avoid whipsaws, and A, not make so many trades, because the commissions, all right, don't forget you're going to be paying commissions even on the Apex account. They deduct it. So you may have a profitable day slightly, but the commissions made it unprofitable. You know, it's the same, it's that game. So you got to see how many trades you can take based on your win percentages and your payoff ratio, so you can get above at least the commissions, right? So there's a lot involved here, okay? But it's fun, all right? And you're not, the great thing about it is you're really not risking any of your money. The only thing you're risking is the subscription fee every month. That's it. And if you fail and blow out account, all right, you can just wait for the next month and it will automatically reset. Now, either have a special on if you blow out an account, cancel the account, and then just buy a new account, new subscription at the discount price. All right, I've done that already on 3 accounts, so you can do that yourself. All right, let's see. Yeah, okay, one more thing on day trading with the Apex that Frank's bringing my attention. So depending on where you live, I'm just going to use the times on the East Coast. So, you know, the trading day for Apex ends at 2 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, provided it's not a holiday. But it reopens an hour later, okay, at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and that starts a new day. So for example, if you made a whole bunch of trades in the morning, all right, and everything's closed by 2 o'clock, all right, and then you went and had lunch or whatever you did, and came back and it's after 3 o'clock, all your accounts are going to be reset for a new day. So any wins or losses will not show up in the wins loss column. you'll have the correct account value, but it will be considered a new trading day. So the new trading day will then go from what, 3 p.m. all the way up until the following 2 p.m. Okay, that type of thing. Now, my experience is, and I've been playing around a little bit yesterday with after hours markets, to me, it's pretty much a waste of time, okay? Once the market closes on like the MES and the NQ, it's a very slow, not big movements that I could see really, and it wasn't very exciting. So I think basically for scalping, you need the liquidity, and you just don't have the liquidity. The fills won't be as good and so forth after hours. I mean, that's just my own personal thing. But if you can find a market where it is good, great. Now, I also noticed that it picks up a couple hours before the market opens. So if you wanted to start early before the market opens, it's actually decent then. So that's an opportunity, but you have to get up early. Okay. Yes, and just so you know, if you're in a position, let's say, you know, it's 158 and they're about to close for the day on Apex, and you get a phone call, or you shouldn't take, by the way, but if you get a phone call and you get diverted away from the markets and you didn't realize it was that close to the closing and it closed, what happens? All right, what they do is they liquidate your position. Okay, they don't close your account, they just liquidate your position. All right, get rid of any of the open orders, I believe, and then that's it. Okay, as a general rule, try to do it yourself before the close. All right, I don't like people liquidate my stuff, I like to do it myself, but that's their rules that they do that. Okay, all right, let me just see. So that's called an auto liquidate. Oh yeah, 2 p.m. I'm sorry, my times were screwed up. It's Pacific time. I'm here on the Pacific time table. So yeah, it's 2 p.m. All right. So that would be 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern time for the close of the day, and 6 p.m. for the start of the next day. Thanks, Jim. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. Very good. I'm just going through the comments here. Yeah, there is a way if you want to, let's say you blow out your account and you want to reset your account before the next subscription due date. Because don't forget, on the next subscription due date, it will automatically happen, right? But let's say you don't want to wait, all right? You can pay a fee and it's $100 to reset it. I think that's a lot. I don't think I'd ever do that. Now, during a special like we have now, if you use my link and coupon code that I put up there in the chat area, hopefully you guys see that, right? Oh, you don't see it? All right, let me see. Sometimes if you come in late, you don't see these things. I'll put it up there again. But if you use that link and that coupon code, you can actually buy a brand new account at the lower price. I mean, why pay $100 and all you have to pay is 18, right? And then cancel the other account. So if you don't need the other account, you can cancel it. You can cancel these subscriptions at any time. And so do it that way until the special's over. All right, there you go. Let's see. All right, good. All right, yeah, I'm quoting Pacific time, right? Okay, so, all right, any questions? All right, because that's kind of when I know I went 15 minutes over the normal session, but fun stuff, right? And as soon as I'm done with you guys, I'm gonna go hit it again and see if I can make some money here. But any questions you have? Going once, going twice. Fun stuff, don't you think? Yeah, it's extremely fun. I agree, Frank. I mean, personally, in a way, I think going the Apex route, you know, basically is simulated trading. And when you get good at it, then you get funded. So it's a great way to practice. And if you don't use good risk control, all right, you'll blow the account. So it's a great way to enforce risk control. Now their rules are really strict, but you know, there you have it. Okay, it's a good way to do it. All right, why do you want me to email you, Frank? What's up? I'm going to be trading this afternoon. Let me know right now, and I'll answer your question and help you. You okay with everything? All right. Let's see what else we can talk about. I think that's it. Okay, so you're okay. All right. Just want to make sure you're okay. All right. That's it for today then, guys. All right. Thanks for coming. Good turnout today. All right. And for those of you that are here, John's here. We got Frank here, Jim here. So for those of you that are here for the day trading room, from the day trading room, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. We'll hit it tomorrow. All right. So have a good one. Clifton, welcome aboard. All right. I know you got an account also with Apex, which is great. All right. But, you know, treat it just like a simulated account. What I would do is go to their website, read all their rules, so you're familiar with the rules, so you know what the trailing, you know, these trailing max drawdowns mean. You know, the way I almost look at it, you know, they can tell me I have a $250,000 account. You know, it's paper. Basically, it's just a simulated account. I look at the account. It allows me, the higher the account, the higher I can go in position size. All right, but really, I've got like a $6,500 account because I can't blow more than that before going bust, right? So I look at it that way, really. Okay, so you know, take your time with it. Don't go for broke. Really, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when you go for broke and you win, and let's say you get funded, it's kind of like cheating on an exam, right? Let's say you're a doctor and you cheat. You know, when push comes to shove and you have to actually really do it, all right? If you got lucky, you're not going to know how to do it, so you're going to get busted out even in the live account if you don't have a methodology. So going for broke is not always the best thing to do, unless you know you have an edge and you're just going for broke, and then you can have the discipline to go back to it. Okay, fine. But for the rest of us, work on your methodology. It's going to take you a while. Don't worry. I wouldn't worry about getting qualified. I would worry about focusing on becoming a good trader. Because once you're a good trader, all right, becoming qualified with your edge then should be fairly the next step. Let's just say that, okay? So try not to bust the account, but try to make money, go slow, and enjoy the process. And you know, that's basically what you should do, I think. All right, well, thank you all for coming. Good turnout today, and I'll see you back here next week. If there's any specific thing you want me to talk about, send me an email, okay? I'll be glad to do that. All right, Cliff, you doing okay over there with the software and everything? Because I know you're new, and I like to make sure all my new folks are doing good out there. All right. So again, treat the Apex account like a simulated account. All right. It's a nice way for you to kind of get into the markets, feel like you have a little skin in the game, and try to beat the odds, so to speak, which is what trading is all about. All right. Have a good one, everybody, and we'll see you next time.